This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, a major drug bust was carried out last night in the city of Hazleton. Find out the details next. Hello everyone, I'm Ken Carr and I'm so happy you've decided to join us for a bunch of local information. Let's get to Tuesday's info from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. It is one of the largest seizures of heroin made by the Hazleton Narcotics Division, and the details were announced during a news conference this afternoon at City Hall. Mayor Jeff Gassat, Police Chief Jerry Spezial, and members of the department were on hand for the news conference. Chief Spezial explains how the investigation began.
The investigation started in December of this year. It was an investigation that started at 50 Bennett Court, which was involved in selling heroin, cocaine, marijuana, and crack. As a result of it, an individual was identified, one of the individuals that was stopped in this investigation, named Hunsinger. That person became a target of our investigation. There were undercover purchases and buys. A search warrant was executed on December 4th, and as a result of that search warrant, there was a large quantity of crack, powdered cocaine, marijuana, and $7,000 in cash that was seized with 3 arrests.
Picking up the story then, last night around 8:45 p.m., members of the Hazleton Police Department's Narcotics Division seized more than 19,000 bags of heroin worth approximately $100,000. Surveillance conducted by narcotics detectives culminated in Philadelphia. According to police, 2 individuals were trailed back to Hazleton. The driver was identified as Ryan Mark Hunsinger and the passenger as Ramon Lorenzo. Both were arrested. Hunsinger had outstanding felony drug delivery charges pending, while Lorenzo had an outstanding warrant out of the Hazleton Police Department. Corporal Kirk Wetzel and his K-9 Grizz were called in to assist investigators. Grizz alerted police to the presence of narcotics in the 2007 white Mercedes-Benz with temporary PA license plates. The chief thanked the department and the Attorney General's office for the teamwork. FYI taped this afternoon's news conference and will post it in its entirety on our Facebook page at facebook.com/FYI News 13. The Hazleton Area School District's Police Director Frank Hacken is resigning for personal reasons in March. His resignation came as a shock since he was only on the job for 6 months. Now the school board must design a plan for the future of the district's security. They're looking to School Board Vice President Vincent Zola for guidance due to his experience in school security and law enforcement. Zola had previously served as the district's Director of Security. Zola says that transparency will be important in the search. He says that if information does not reach the public, that people will begin to fill in the blanks on their own. Members of a newly formed group have started a petition to stop plans for an automobile shredder and separator planned for the area. An organizational meeting was held recently for a group called CATS, which stands for Citizens Against the Shredder. Back in September, Hazel Township supervisors gave permission to Interstate Recycling and Shredding of Plainfield, Indiana, for limited construction to begin. CATS is concerned about the project's impact on water, traffic, and the environment. The shredder is expected to be discussed at the Hazel Township zoning meeting set for February 1st at 6 p.m. Yesterday, we told you about the passing of Irene Gans, a prominent area businesswoman who, along with her late husband Joseph S. Gans, were pioneers in the cable industry. The Gans family, they were also very active in the American Cancer Society, broadcasting the annual telethon in Hazleton each year. Clemmy Yamona is a longtime friend of the family and the co-chair for the annual telethon.
Well, I've known Irene for many years, but then we became extra together with the Cancer Telethon, and that started in 1979. And she's just the most terrific person. She's a lady. Was a lady, and she's an icon in this community.
She was very involved in many organizations, the American Cancer Society, the Helping Hands Society. How important was that to who she is?
Well, the thing is this, but she was always so humble, she didn't think she was that important. She had a creed that just spoke to God and service to people and charity to many people. That was her purpose in life. She was a true Christian Catholic woman.
Yamona says this year's telethon on February 27th will be in memory of Irene Gans. The funeral is Thursday at 10 a.m. at St. John Bosco Church in Cunningham. Friends and relatives may call Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home in Hazelton. Donations to the Helping Hands Society, the American Cancer Society, or a charity of one's choice will be appreciated by the family. The Lasan family and everyone at Samson Productions extends our sincere condolences to the family and friends of Irene Gans. Coming up next on FYI, we'll learn about a new award the Rotary Club of Hazelton will be handing out to a local citizen. And later, this award-winning journalist, Dino Alberto, joins me in the FYI Fast Lane to talk about local racing.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazelton Standard Speaker.
Brandon's Forever Home, the Hazelton-based group that helps children in foster care, is remodeling their kitchen at their home on Laurel Street, and they could use some utensils. You don't have to mail them over some forks, spoons, and spatulas, but you can attend a Pampered Chef Bingo on February 28th at the Elks Lodge on Broad Street in Hazelton. The cost is $20 in advance and $25 at the door. 75 tickets are available, so make sure to get yours ASAP. For more information, call the phone number up on your screen, or you can use the email or visit Brandon's Forever Home on Facebook.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
Once again, we have a hazardous weather outlook in effect for our area from the National Weather Service. We could see some snow this evening, and with heavy winds, we may see some drifting. And even if the snow is limited as expected, this can reduce visibility. We are also expecting a winter storm that could bring snow on Saturday. Here's our forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low around 14 degrees with the wind chill. Will feel like 0. Northwest wind tonight from 13 to 18 miles per hour, and gusts can get up to 28 miles per hour. And now the 4-day outlook. On Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 27, but again with the wind chill will feel like 0 degrees. We'll have a northwest wind from 7 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, 30% chance of snow showers mainly between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. Our low will be 16 degrees. New snow accumulation of less than half an inch possible. On Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 26. Thursday night, partly cloudy. We'll get down to 16 degrees. On Friday, snow is likely mainly after 1 p.m. Our high will be 26 degrees. Friday night, once again, snow likely, cloudy with a low of 21 degrees. And then on Saturday, once again, we can expect some snow, mostly cloudy with a high of 27. And then Saturday night, a 30% chance of snow, mostly cloudy. Our low will be 18 degrees.
Today we're very pleased to tell you about a brand new award that is being provided by the Hazelton Rotary Club, the Paul Harris Community Award, the very first of its kind. Here to tell us all about it today is Dr. John Madden, who is the project chairman, and also Pat Korb, who is the Rotary's publicity chairwoman and also a member of this committee as well. Dr. Madden, I'm going to start with you. The Paul Harris Community Award. First, tell us about Paul Harris and what this award means.
Well, Paul Harris was the founder of the Rotary Club way back in Chicago, and there's an award that the Rotary Club has, the Rotary International has, Rotary members typically are the ones who win this award, and to do so you have to contribute $1,000 to the Rotary International. That's money that goes to stop polio, the kinds of projects that Rotary engages in internationally. Our district had several awards to give, extra. So one of the awards is coming to Hazelton, and it's an award it's an award to somebody who puts service above self, which is the motto of Rotary. Mm-hmm. And Pat can tell us about that tradition. But we're looking for somebody in this community who exemplifies that motto. And we're looking for somebody who has a kind of a lifetime attitude of service above self, not one spectacular thing, mm-hmm. but somebody who's been at it, who stays with it, who values that aspect of life.
All right.
So.
Very good. And you do not have to be a Rotarian to be nominated for this position, correct?
That is correct. You can be a Rotary member, mm-hmm. or you cannot be a Rotary member. You must be 18 years of age or older and live and or work or be retired from the greater Hazelton area or Weatherly. And the Rotary model is service above self, and that's what we're looking for, people to be nominated that fit this criteria. And you can nominate more than one person. You can nominate yourself. I mean, we really looking, I think winning the award is certainly an honor, but also being nominated is certainly an honor. It's a way for the people out there to recognize someone in the community, and there are lots of people who need to be recognized for their service above self work.
Absolutely. And for our viewers who are watching right now, Pat, if they want to nominate someone, how do they go about it?
They can go onto the Rotary website. There's a nomination form on there, or they can go to any of the libraries in the area and they can get a nomination form. They can also contact John. He can give you his email address. And they have until the end of February, so there's still a lot of time left.
Absolutely, and I know there are a lot of those type of people in this community because this is a wonderful community, well known for its volunteerism. So you hope to have as many applicants as possible, and as Pat said, they can contact you as well, email you?
That's correct. My email is jmadden325@gmail.com. And Hazleton, the Rotary website is Hazleton Rotary, www.hazletonrotary.org. And you can get an application from either one of those sites. And we hope to call attention to the many people in the community who do wonderful things, who don't always get noticed. And as Pat said, we're not necessarily looking for the most prominent volunteer or the person who gets in the newspapers the most frequently, but people who have really dedicated a piece of themselves to their community and made a contribution.
All right, very well said. Well, we hope that a lot of people will be now getting ready for the application process, because I know there are a lot of people in our viewing audience who would be eligible for this wonderful award. Again, it is the Paul Harris Community Award, the first ever for the Hazleton Rotary Club.
Thanks, Lisa. Midday winning lottery number time here on FYI. Pick 201, pick 3, 238, pick 4, 2788, and pick 5, 63700. The FYI Fast Lane makes its return when we come back, but right now, here's some law talk.
Hello again to Falvello Law Talk segment on SSPTV. Today we're going to talk once again about auto insurance. It's not a topic we can really cover with you viewers in 2-minute segments all at once. So today we're going to talk about really basic coverage in the auto world, and that's full tort versus limited tort. We've talked about this many times before, but it's always important to I think, to review it and make sure you know what you're buying as an auto insurance consumer. Here's the big difference. Full tort, you retain all your rights to make a claim regardless of your injury. Limited tort, you give up a lot of those rights. It becomes very subjective in the determination of how serious your injury is. And what that means is that unless you have a serious injury, as defined by law, you cannot make a claim for your pain and suffering. And that's very difficult to determine. As I said earlier, it's very subjective. But why leave that to chance? For a couple extra premium dollars, you buy the full tort, and for maybe another $30 or $40, $50 a year, if you give that up and buy limited tort, you could be giving up thousands in pain and suffering damages. It's something to consider very seriously. And even though your agent may say, hey, you have full coverage, that full coverage may involve limited tort. So ask about full tort and limited tort, and by all means, if it's something you can afford and something that you want, don't give up your right to seek pain and suffering damages for a few extra premium dollars.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
All right, sitting in my passenger seat right now, but really should be the driver of the segment is really who you are, Dino. And Dino Berto is now an award-winning journalist, Jim Hunter Memorial Rider of the Year Award from the Eastern Motorsport Press Association. Quite the honor for local motorsport journalist Dino Berto. Dino, congratulations. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but let's start locally. Evergreen Raceway, they had a race already, so the race season kind of started there, but he said they'll break until March. And a guy we know, thanks to you, Scott Adams, had a victory there and during that time. So Evergreen's off and running and a little pause until March now.
Yeah, it was kind of neat. They're under new management, if you don't know by now. Jason McCarowitz, a former racer there from, he ran late models, factory stocks. Him, his brother, his family were very involved there over the Joe Calavini era. The first thing they did was they ran an Enduro, which is a timed event. It's kind of like a junk car race, if you will. You just throw some safety features into the cars, and you go out there and you run for 100 or so laps. And it turned out to be an overwhelming success, which gives a lot of positive attitude for the upcoming year on what's going to be happening down there. So it was really neat. They had close to 98 cars just in one division alone. There was 4 states represented. The race took place on January the 9th. They're going to have another Enduro in March, which will lead eventually to their season opener, which takes place later on in late April.
A lot of exciting things locally. And speaking of that, Steve Fox, racer from Hazleton, really known up at the Pocono Raceway, runs ARCA races there. He's down south right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's so cool. Steve Fox has been racing since the early 1970s on everything and anything. And of late, he has been competing on the ARCA series, and he's recently hooked up with a great sponsor. And these guys, after so successful with their attempt at running Pocono last year, decided let's go for the big one. And the ARCA Daytona 200 takes place in just a couple of weeks. That kicks off Speed Weeks at Daytona International Speedway. Steve, this past weekend, was down there testing for the very first time. His speeds were up in the close to 180 mile per hour range, which is right around where you want to be, but he still needs to find a little speed out of that deal. Kenny, what's really interesting is of all the race car drivers that have come out of the Hazleton area, if Steve can make the starting grid for that race, which is a very prestigious event, he will become the very first Hazleton area driver to qualify for a race on the 2.5 mile Daytona International Speedway.
Big things going on for Steve Fox and big things for Dino Berto. Let's talk about the award a little bit. You said you were honored with some great journalists. I mean, what did it feel like? And I know you do a lot of work. We read you in the Standard Speaker here, so it had to mean a lot.
It really did. It was the Jim Hunter Memorial Award. It was actually the second time that I was honored to receive this award. Each year, the EMPA, the Eastern Motorsport Press Association, I serve on the board of directors as the vice president. We have to come up with candidates to see who is worthy of such an award. Jim Hunter is a former PR director for NASCAR, so it's named after him. NASCAR is a big supporter of us with that organization. And the membership itself are the ones who vote for who gets the award. And I was just really overwhelmed by that. It really put me back, and very humbled to be able to receive that, because it was through the membership that voted for it. And it was just so gratifying because of the work I do through the Standard Speaker, through the years that I worked with the Press Enterprise in Bloomsburg. I put the effort out because I love what I do. I love to be able to write about all these racers, all the stuff that goes on here in this region, and I really think it's because of them that I was able to do this, so very gratifying to get that.
Quite an honor, Dino. Again, congratulations. Before we get you out of here, just one more thing. You told me about a crew chief for Tony Stewart, who has area ties hailing from Lehighton.
Yes, actually, Palmerton. Mike Bergowitz, over the offseason, was named as the crew chief for Tony Stewart in his final year. Mike is a former racer down at Mahoning Valley Speedway. He ran factory stocks, street stocks. He worked on Earl Paulus's crew. Earl, as you know, was the 2015 modified champion, and it's going to be really neat that he was able to be named that. He's a graduate of Penn State University, and we're looking forward to seeing him when he comes up into our area this year. As a matter of fact, we had another resident from the area with very strong ties, Anthony Hirschman, who was the spotter for 2015 NASCAR champion Kyle Busch. His father is a former Evergreen champion. His brother is a former winner at Evergreen and Mahoning Valley, Matt Hirschman. So Tony Hirschman, again, with ties there through the area. So it's really neat that we got good racers and good racing crewmen.
Always a pleasure, Dino. Thank you so much. Award-winning local motorsport journalist, Dino Alberto. It's always fun when Dino is in the house. Well, Marion basketball, they jump back into the Schuylkill League Division III fast lane with a win over Lourdes Regional. The Colts are 5-3 in the league, and in second place, the 462 boys basketball crew. They're ahead of them right now at 7-1 in league play, and the two will meet on Thursday night. We'll have highlights on Friday. Monoy area is right behind Marion in the standings, and they won on Monday night. So did North Schuylkill, who find themselves in third place in Division I of the Schuylkill League. In girls basketball, Hazelton area led 42-9 at halftime, and they wrapped up their 5th win in 6 conference games. MMI, they fell to Wyoming area. Alexis Daly had another double-double for Penn State Hazelton with 11 points and 10 rebounds, but the local Lady Lions fell to Wilkes University in a non-conference game. That's the end of sports for Tuesday. I'll see you after this break. Happy Wing Night. It's Wing Night at Bottlenecks. Get $2 off your order of wings or all-you-can-eat wings and boneless wings for only $14.95. Bottlenecks wings are voted best wings in the area year after year.
Hey golfers, have we got the perfect vacation spot for you? Myrtle Beach. Signature Golf Packages builds and reserves the finest and most reasonably priced Myrtle Beach vacations. From scheduling your golf tee times to making your hotel accommodations. Oceanfront to golf course villas. Mark Passon, a Hazelton native, has been doing this for 10 years. Expect excellent customer service, local knowledge of all the courses, and the best golf vacation of a lifetime. Call now to learn all of the specials that Signature Golf Packages can offer you or your group. 866-462-9885 or book now at signaturegolfpackages.com.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, Christ Church United Church of Christ will be holding a chicken pie dinner Saturday, January 23rd from 4 to 7 p.m. at their location on Main Street in Cunningham. Cost is $8 per person, and proceeds benefit church repairs. For info, just call 570-788-1964. And finally, the Knights of Columbus Local Council 8613 will be holding their annual free throw competition Saturday, January 23rd. The event will be held at St. John Bosco Church with registration at 8:30 a.m. and the competition starting at 9. Cost is free, but participants are required to furnish proof of age and have written parental consent. For info, just call 973-943-3152. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Catherine Card of Hazelton. Funeral services will be held at the convenience of the family and under the direction of the Stanley E. Anilowski Funeral Home. Sarad Soltanian, formerly of Brooklyn, New York. Mass is Thursday at 10 a.m. in the St. Mary's Byzantine Catholic Church. Friends may call Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. The McHugh Wilczek Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Irene Osachi Gans, formerly of Sugarloaf Township. Funeral is Thursday at 10 a.m. at the St. John Bosco Church. Friends may call Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Alice F. Trusky of McAdoo. Mass is Wednesday at 11 a.m. at the St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church. Friends may call Wednesday from 10 to 11 a.m. in the church. Arrangements are by the Zizelman Gula Funeral Home. And David E. Krusko of Beaver Meadows. Mass is Friday at 9:30 a.m. at the St. Peter and Paul Byzantine Catholic Church. Arrangements are under the direction of the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Clyde Holman of Barnesville. Clyde, if you're watching, give us a call, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
That full Hazelton Police Department press conference about that huge heroin seizure is on our Facebook page, facebook.com/FYI News 13. We'll see you for more information tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.